So over the past few years, I've been making a point of not buying FIFA points. I don't think they're worth the money, and I really do hate that sinking feeling of guilt once you've spent a load of money on them and packed absolutely nothing.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you how to get the best start in FIFA 22 with no money spent. Do not worry, you don't have to spend money, but a good way to not spend money is by being in a Discord, whether it be a Patreon, a free one, my Discord. There's links in the description to my new Discord. What? Yeah, there's click the link in the description. It's an invite code for 10 uses. Go and get on it. Get in the Discord, the boys, before this week. I'm also giving away Discord codes on my Twitter and my Instagram, so make sure to click the links in the description for that. And if this video gets over 1,500 likes, I will release even more Discord spots in my next video.
Yeah, boy.
So in terms of starting FIFA 22, people are all going to be starting at different times. Some people will be on EA Access or EA Play or whatever it's called now. Some people have the Ultimate Edition, meaning that they're playing from the 27th, and some people will be getting it on the 1st of October. So in this, it's going to be a full guide taking you from the start to the finish and making you 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 coins. And I think with all the challenges and all the training that I've done over this past year, I think I've got a good idea-ish on how to get the most and the fastest coins possible.
2 words: entrepreneurship.
For the absolute fastest way to make coins though, if you do want to go and buy yourself some FIFA 22 coins, make sure to click the link in the description and check out Mule Factory and use the code LE5CHEAP at checkout to get yourself a discount on your coins. I am going to be partnered with Mule Factory for as long as possible, fingers crossed. So boys, please do click that link in the description. If you enjoy this video as well, a like would be very much appreciated, and subscribe with your notifications on, because I've got a new challenge video coming this week and I'm going to have loads of trading videos out for you. If I know of a method that's making me loads of coins, I'm 110% going to tell you, man. Like I said, I don't spend FIFA points. I don't think you need to spend FIFA points, and just swerve giving EA your money. Like, what is the point?
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am.
So in terms to start off with FIFA 22, depending on when you start playing it is going to massively affect how things go. Now, at the bottom, I've left little timestamps in the description, and they will take you to different points in the video. So we're going to start off mainly with EA Play or EA Access. Let's just call it EA Play because I can't keep saying that over and over again. So EA Play is a 10-hour trial, which we are going to be getting this Wednesday. You can currently get it on the PlayStation Store for as little as, I think, 79 cents or about £1. Either way, it's definitely worth doing. You get 10 hours of play and you take all of that over into FIFA 22 when the full game's out as well, which is really, really good. So any gameplay, any trading, whatever you do in EA Play will carry over.
It's free real estate.
One thing to bear in mind though is how you're actually going to use your time. So when EA Play drops is also when we're going to get the web app. Now, the web app is basically everything to do with FIFA but the gameplay. So with that in mind, when you get EA Play, don't go on and start doing SBCs on EA Play, because it's going to start to eat into your time on EA Play. It's just not worth it. In addition to that as well, you don't want to be going on and opening packs. I know the animation looks pretty sick, but it's just not worth it. And don't be going on and building teams. Anything that you can do outside of gameplay, do on the web app, and do everything else on EA Play. But if you've not got EA Play, just stick to the web app. So when you first load up the game, you can do it on EA Play or do it on your console. Now when you go on, you can actually use a kit method. Now this is a method which I use for pretty much every single challenge. Basically what you do is pick really good starter kits. So when you come on, you're going to get your starter packs, aren't you? So basically your starter packs are going to be English, French, and all the different nationalities. Usually pick English or French. It's just the best one to do in terms of the SBCs that we're going to be doing later on. But choose good kits as well. Man United kits, Chelsea kits, Liverpool kits, any popular team, popular nation. Choose those kits, likewise with the badge, because they can actually sell for quite a bit. Then once you're an Ultimate Team, you can swap them over to some other default badges that you'll already have in your club, and then you can sell those other ones on, because usually they're tradable, and as far as I'm aware, it's going to be the same for FIFA 22. In the early stages, you're going to complete objectives just for doing that, and in addition as well, once you've sold that stuff on, you should have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 coins, which can move you into the next step that you need to go and complete.
So what if I don't know how to spell entrepreneur? You know what I do know how to spell? Tesla.
So the next step that you're going to be completing is the Let's Get Started SBCs. Now everyone's told you to do this already, I'm not telling you anything new, but one thing that a lot of people have said is to use FUT bin solutions. Don't do that. The reason why I say don't use those solutions is because a lot of people are going to say these are the cheapest ones, these are the best ones to do, but the people on the other side of the computer who have put all those players in are probably price fixing those players, trying to make a quick few coins. I'm not saying anyone in particular, but it's just something I wanted to let you know. Just be careful. So try and not use any of the solutions on FUTBin when you're doing those basic SBCs. All of the let's get started stuff, so one nation midfield, one league attack, and the multi-league and nation basics are usually the best ones to do. Just do all the basic SBCs. You can do that on the web app. Again, use no gameplay for this. In terms of gameplay as well at this stage, we've got a couple of different options. Again, if you're using EA Play at this stage, all gameplay stuff. Now, when I say gameplay stuff, I'm thinking div rivals, squad battles, and all the rest of it. Now, in terms of where you're spending your time, personally for me, I would be putting it into half squad battles and half div rivals, if I'm being honest. And if there's any other objectives as well that you can do to just grind packs out, I'd 110% be doing those as well. Use all your trading time and your SBC time for the web app. Do not touch the game when you're using a time trial. It's just not worth it. So once you've sold on those cards from your initial SBCs and you've started grinding some gameplay out, you should be able to get around 10,000, 20,000 coins. This is where you need to start doing advanced SBCs. These SBCs are difficult. You're going to want to use solutions, but please do not copy any of these solutions because, again, people are going to be going on, and I'm even going to be telling you about how to trade with these later on in this video. Any of the advanced SBCs are really good. Elite 8 is usually normally pretty good. Try and avoid stuff like whole 9 yards that's got loyalty. It's not worth it because, again, you're going to be jumping into your 10-hour time, which you really don't want to be doing. Any of those SBCs from the advanced tab are usually pretty good, and I'll leave some links in the description where you can find the best valued SBCs in FIFA 22. So if you just click down there, you should be able to get a list, and it should be in best value order as well, which should be pretty helpful. EA Play, gameplay, you know how to do gameplay, you know how to play a game of FIFA, but you're not 100% on the trading aspect of it, and that's absolutely fine. I'm going to be giving you a couple of different trading methods that you can go on and use, and I am going to be using FUTBin for this. So let's jump over to FUTBin and I'll show you exactly how to do some trading in the early stages of FIFA.
BMW.
So this is FUTBin. If you're not too sure what FUTBin is, you need to get familiar with it, and I do leave a link to it in pretty much every single one of my videos because FUTBin allows you to check player prices, check fluctuations, and check pretty much everything to do with the market. It's really, really, really good, and if FUTBin wasn't about, I probably wouldn't be trading as much on FIFA. It makes everything really, really easy to use. You go on here, you type in a player, you can go and take a look at them. But if we go over to FIFA 21 and we have a look at a player like Haaland, for example, we will be able to see what Haaland's previous price has been in FIFA 21. We can track his prices, his movements, and how things were working pretty much all year. And you can see here, you get graphs. It's so interesting, and it's so good to use as well. So I've just come onto the players tab here, and this is going to be the first method that I'm going to be talking about, and it is going to be fluctuation trading. And this is going to be something which you can use fairly early on, and it is going to be something that I recommend to use. I have alluded to it ever so slightly with what I was saying before about people trading around solutions and stuff like that. So what I want to do, I just want to show you a player who was incredible to use for trading last year, and it was this Marcano card. Now this Marcano card, you could pick him up when he was heavily supplied. He would always fluctuate back, and that's just one thing to bear in mind is supply and demand, and you need to sort of get your head around supply and demand. When the supply is high and the demand is low, the player price is usually rock bottom. When it's the other way around, it usually goes up. So use that to your advantage as much as you can do. I am going to be doing a follow-up video on how to trade in FIFA 22, so please don't worry if you're not understanding everything that I'm saying, and I will link it up here. I'll link it somewhere, just trust me. But if we scroll down right here, you will be able to see his graphs being absolutely mental. Now, if I just set this to 1 month, we can actually go all the way back to the start of the game, and we can start to take a look at his individual prices, and we can see how he fluctuates so much. You can see here, one day he's at 6,000 coins, the other day he's at 8,000 coins, and this is based just on how he was actually used in different SBCs. So what you need to do when you're trying to find your solutions for the advanced SBCs, again, which I've told you to not use them as a guide, you can then go and take a look at those players and see how they fluctuate over a day-by-day basis, because you can find them at their absolute lowest and then sell them at the highest, and you've got all these graphs available to you in FUTBin. It's very helpful to go and use this, and if you go over to this hourly thing right here, you will be able to see what they fluctuate to on a day-to-day basis. Again, I'm using a FIFA 21 player at the minute, so it doesn't really matter too much what he's going for, but back in the day it would have done, because 1 hour he might have been 6,000 coins, next hour he's 2,000 coins, and you can find that trend and utilize that the next day. Just something to bear in mind. It's a really hard method. method. I will do a follow-up video on it, but try and get your head around that as you going through with SBCs. Another thing which I'm highly going to recommend for you guys to go and do is to do some silver trading as well in the early stages of the game. Talking stuff like Premier League, silvers, and just snipe whatever the lowest one is, but mainly because we are going to be getting League SBCs back in. Now, I want to show you a couple of players who were really, really good for SBC trading last year, who were from the Bundesliga, who were silver, and it was players from a team called Bielefeld. Now, this Bielefeld team were basically featured as part of the Bundesliga League SBC set, which meant that a lot of the prices went up. Now, what you need to do when FIFA 22 comes out is identify teams who have got a high proportion of silvers in comparison to golds. Now, not straight away when you're starting off, you really need to keep this in mind, but when you're trading with those general filters like Premier League silvers, find the lowest of the Premier League silvers, snipe at that. Bundesliga silvers, snipe at the lowest. But just keep in mind these players who are loads and loads of silvers as part of a team, because when League SBCs come out, these are going to go ridiculously expensive. Now, I can click on pretty much any single one of these cards right here. So let's just go for this guy, for example, and I'll be able to show you the graphs, and the graphs are absolutely mental. If we scroll down right here, you will be able to see that the player prices are absolutely all over the place, especially around the team of the year time as well. They go really expensive because people start to stack packs. Now, you can use this information to your benefit when FIFA 22 does drop, but in the early stages, I'd highly recommend to just do some trading with silvers and use some of those filters that I've just spoken about. The more general, the better, and you can actually snipe as much as you can do on the game. And again, if you're coming into FIFA 22 new, you're not going to know what sniping is, but please go and watch that follow-up video on how to trade in FIFA 22, because I'll show you absolutely everything that you need to know. I'm keeping it really basic for the time being, just because I want to get a general overview of how to start FIFA 22. So silver's definitely an area to look at when the web app drops. Now, I have just alluded to it then, and it is going to be sniping filters. Sniping filters are a really good way to just bump your coins up in the early stages. So keeping it as general as possible is always what I do with sniping filters. Now, what sniping filters are is basically you go onto the market and you set some parameters up. So whether it be Premier League, English, gold, left backs, you find what the average price is of all those cards, and then you snipe under that average. Now, one filter which was pretty decent last year was the Premier League French filter. So if you just go over to the Premier League, and then you can go over here and go over to Nations, you can then set it up so it says French. We click on the French, and then you can keep adding these different filters to something, which then creates a sniping filter. So let's just go over here and just set it to defenders, for example, and then what you want to do is just order it by the price. I'm on the PlayStation at the minute, and you'll be able to see that they're coming in at 1.2k, 1k. So you can even go on FIFA 21 and try this out whilst you wait for FIFA 22, and you need to come up with these different sniping filters. Again, when these sniping filters were being used in FIFA 21, they worked because of different players at different clubs. The sniping filters in FIFA 22 that are going to work is going to be completely different, so please do just bear that in mind as well. But another good method to just keep in mind is going to be the sniping filter method as well. Moving into my closing points just about starting FIFA 22, one thing that I can say to you is just don't stress too much about what you're doing and how you're spending your time. There's going to be times when you will be wasting your time. There's going to be times when you make the wrong mistakes, and it's going to be times when you're going to balls up, and that's absolutely fine. It really doesn't matter. And I think that's probably the main takeaway from this. Use this time getting into the game to learn as much as you can do. I'm going to try and push out as much content as I can do as well, but I've got a couple more points that I do want to talk about. The next point that I'm going to be talking about is the FIFA points boost and what to do with your 4,600 FIFA points, providing that you've pre-ordered. Do you go off and do a load of drafts? Do you go off and do a load of packs? What do you do? What do you do? What's the best way to utilize it? Now, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to open the packs. I don't care. I don't want to go and play a draft. I'm not very good at draft. I don't want to go and play a single player draft. It bores me to absolute tears. I'm just going to open the packs. I really do not care too much. Say, for example, you got 4,600 FIFA points. The worst that comes out of all that is that you get 20, 30, 40,000 coins, and it will work the exact same as a Div Rivals boost. So use that as much as you can do, but please don't stress too much. If you want to go off and open packs and then play a draft, you go off and play a draft, man. Like, it really doesn't matter too much. And I think overall, those are my main tips for starting FIFA 22. And I think that if you utilize all the things that I've said, you can genuinely get up to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 coins within your first week of playing FIFA 22. You don't need to make it any more difficult than it needs to be, but just keep everything that I've said in mind. But that's where I'm going to be wrapping up this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it. If you want me to do that follow-up, you're more than welcome to drop a like. And if I've already released it, it should be over here. Make sure to go and check out these two videos to go and watch some more FIFA 22 content. But this bet is 6, Lewis, and I am off. Oosh.